I'm back with a new tablet review, but this one's a little different. I got to try the Frunsi RubensTab T11 Pro. I don't usually review tools aimed at beginners, which Frunsi claims this is, but I was immediately interested in the RubensTab because it's not just a drawing display, it's an Android tablet that comes with its own stylus. At this point, I think I'm the only one who's never had a tablet other than a Kindle, so I don't think I need to explain what standalone means in too much detail, but basically, you don't need a PC or a Mac to be able to draw on this. And since it is an Android device, you can download any apps from the Google Play Store onto the RubensTab, but I'm going to focus on it mainly as a portable drawing display. In the box, we got the tablet itself, documentation, a case that's also an adjustable stand, a stylus with an extra battery, 3 additional nibs and a nib changing tool, a charging adapter and USB-C cable, a little poker for opening the microSD slot, a drawing glove, a microfiber cloth, and a brush for cleaning your screen, and 2 white gloves that I honestly don't know what they're for, but I've been using them for handling the tablet when I didn't want to leave fingerprints all over it. They're kind of like those fancy gloves for showing off valuable artifacts at auctions. The RubensTab has a nice rubbery texture on the back and a glossy screen. We'll talk about this in a bit. On the side, we find the USB-C charging port, a mini HDMI port, a jack for wired headphones, and the microSD slot that I am using to extend the built-in 65 gigabytes of storage space. It's got 3 buttons, the power button, and the rocker that's for adjusting volume. I like the overall build quality and the look of this tablet. None of the materials feel cheap or out of place. We also get 2 cameras. Their quality is pretty crummy, but they might come in handy when you need a quick reference picture. The sound quality of the tablet speaker is definitely tinny as well. Before I continue with this review, I gotta talk about the screen protectors. I've been using this thing for like a week before I realized that there was a protective layer on the screen. Luckily, I didn't film the drawing parts of this video yet, so nothing was really lost. When I asked the Frunsi representative I've been talking to said that the tablet comes with a pre-installed screen protector, and there is a thin protective film on that, which I should peel off. Unfortunately, this thin protective film was on there, real good, and I ended up peeling off both. This kind of sucks, but to be fair, one of the main complaints I've seen of this tablet online has been the glossy screen. It's just not a great feeling to draw on a glass surface, and it gets all nasty with fingerprints and ugh. Like I said before, I love matte screen protectors, so I was going to apply one to the RubensTab sooner or later anyway, but because of this, it had to be sooner. I ordered some matte protective film originally made for the iPad and slapped it on there. I guess technically I could put the plexiglass layer back on it, but like I said, the glossy finish kind of drives me crazy, so I'm gonna go with the matte layer. It was like $7, not a huge deal. And while to me this is a vastly better tactile experience, the one backdraw that I've noticed is that the pen nib is eroding on the matte screen protector. If you look closely, you can see some dark hazing on the surface after I've been drawing for a while. These are not scratches and they can be wiped off, but if this bothers you, you should probably stick with the original protective layer. None of this hazing stuff happens on that, and it does not tear up the pen nib like this. If you're concerned about parallaxing, I have not noticed a larger distance between the pen tip and the cursor using the original screen protector either. Anyway, let's continue. I like the case that the tablet came with. It functions as a stand too, and I've been using it all the time, especially while playing my boomer game laying down. The stand has these strong magnetic notches so it never slips when standing up, and there's an elastic loop for the stylus too. I'm not a big fan of the wood texture. I think it looks a little cheesy, but that's a minor complaint. Also, this hole for the camera was caught wonky. Still usable, but just barely. It's like my own privacy cover almost. Despite this, I find it kind of amazing that this case, that with other brands would cost $30 to $50 just by itself, comes with the RubensTab for free. Okay, let's look at the stylus for a second. There's a clip on the top, which I think is very much needed for a pen that comes with a portable tablet that you'll be carrying around. I appreciate the added security. The body of the pen is metal, it's got a comfortable weight to it, and I like that it's cool to the touch. Now, this is a AAA battery operated pen, but I've been using it for a couple weeks and I haven't noticed a drop in its charge yet. It's safe to say you won't have to change its battery very often. The pen nib can be replaced, and here I need to take another detour because my god, that was frustrating for a little bit. The first couple days when I used this tablet, I noticed that my pen taps were weird, especially around the edge of the screen. I couldn't even set up my workspace because if I touched the screen, it was spam click, like 1,000 clicks a second, just dragging shit all over the place. I couldn't think of anything else, so I replaced my pen nib, and this time I pushed the pen nib further into the pen than the original nib was sitting. You know, it was kind of loose like how stylus nibs usually are. Lo and behold, the pen worked perfectly. So if your stylus does weird stuff, just try adjusting the nib before panicking. This pen has 1,024 levels of pressure sensitivity, but no no tilt sensitivity, no buttons, and no eraser on the other end. The setup of this tablet was painfully easy. It's like a big Android smartphone / PC basically. It weighs less than 1.5 kilos, which is a little over 3 pounds. Heavy if you want to just hold it up in front of you for a long time, but perfectly normal for carrying it with you. The tablet came with 2 art apps pre-installed, Sketchbook for drawing and Flip-a-Clip for animating. I don't consider either of these to be professional art programs, but Frunsi is marketing this tablet as a tool for beginners, and I think these 2 apps are perfectly good for learning the basics. Instead of using Sketchbook, I downloaded Clip Studio Pro pretty much immediately. I'm a Photoshop user on PC, but not gonna lie, what I've seen from Clip Studio in this mobile app is kind of maybe making me want to go over to the light side. This is not a Clip Studio sponsored message, just my personal experience. I'm kind of floored at how amazing this program is, even on a mobile device. That being said, Clip Studio Pro on mobile is still a subscription service, so if you want the full thing, you cannot buy it once and be done with it. I got a good deal with 3 months of free service though, so for now I'll be using this on the Frunsi RubensTab. The touch screen measures 10.1 inches across and the resolution is 1920 by 1200, which is HD for tablets. This LCD display is not laminated, but again, we're not really expecting that from what is considered a budget portable drawing tablet. The screen can be manipulated with your fingers or the provided stylus. It uses palm rejection technology, which means the drawing glove isn't really necessary. I prefer using gloves on displays, but I keep finding myself using the RubensTab without one, and I don't usually have a problem with my palm touching the glass, which means this thing must be working. As far as actual drawing experience goes, don't expect anything revolutionary. I feel like this is a tablet first and a drawing display second. That being said, once you get in the flow, it gets really fun. Like I said, parallaxing is minimal, basically non-existent when you look at the tablet head-on, and it's not a large surface, so you will never not look at it head-on. The lag is noticeable, and especially when you draw diagonal lines, you'll see that the tablet is struggling to anticipate where your stylus will send its signal next, so you'll get these wobbly lines. I don't think the RubensTab is for finesse artists who work with sharp, smooth line art, like me usually. I will definitely not be lining my sketches on here, but it's great for everything else. Sketching, watercolors, painting, anything that doesn't require that sort of super detailed fine ink work, I think the RubensTab is great for. If anything, this shortcoming might actually be useful for less experienced artists. You often see artists starting out drawing these hairy, uncertain lines. Well, this tablet will force you to use deliberate, defined motions when sketching, because that is how you get smooth lines, even diagonally. And that's pretty much what you want to train your brain and hand for in digital art. I've never been a hairy line art girly, but I've always been a draw lots of lines until something forms girly, and while this tablet doesn't let you draw super fast, it will let you draw fast. Once you get used to it, you know where your strokes will fall without immediately seeing them. Plenty of art apps also have built-in line stabilizers, or if you draw with vector lines, you can adjust those once they've been drawn. I gotta mention that I really love the split screen option. I use it when I want to use photo references. There are also options for taking screenshots or even recording your screen so you can make videos of your art process. I installed Streamlabs OBS too, but sadly I did not find a way to stream the tablet screen itself, only the cameras. About the batteries, in my experience, it needs regular charging, but it's not like your art session will be cut short because of it. When fully juiced up, you can go a good 5 to 6 hours at least drawing. Maybe less if you're also watching YouTube on the side or something. If you take it on long trips, like multiple hour flights, bring the charging cable with you, but that kind of goes without saying. I'm actually really pumped to visit my family next time and be able to pass those 10-hour flights productively. The Frunsi RubensTab T11 Pro costs $179 US. Pretty affordable for what it is, especially if we consider iPad prices, plus iPencil, which is apparently called an Apple Pencil, and sleeves, and so on. I recommend it if you don't have a computer, or you can't be sitting or standing in front of it all day, but you still want to get some art done. If you'd like to get your own, I have a 5% off coupon for you in the description, along with the link to the tablet. Thank you so much to Frunsi for introducing me to their products, and thanks for watching, everyone.